Alright, these are getting the treatment. Alright, we're gonna clean these bad boys up. First, we gotta pop in the Humidor. Then we're gonna clean that Charizard and the Gengar. I don't sell the products, but I do rent them out. What's your email address? Alright, guys, what are we saying? How many people are left? Yo, what's going on? Joshua Watson Wagwan. Well, Joshua Wagwan. Okay. This music's terrible, dude. How many people we got on here? One. Hello, I need money. Dog, I need money too. What up? What up? Everybody's gone. Okay, we're not gonna do that anymore. Shit is super annoying to clean to. Everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the cleaning hour. This is the cleaning of the edge of the universe. Jeez, okay. Okay. What's everybody up to? What's everybody saying? Miles, what's going on? Who else is here?
There's a point where HS is like, what OnlyFans girls do is repulsive and immoral, and my daughter would never do that. I would disown her. But it turns out that he not only bought an OnlyFans agency and cross posts with OnlyFans starlets for clout, but he's effectively doing the same thing. He's an OnlyFans girl, or I guess OnlyFans girls are OnlyFans girls for men, but he's,
For men and more of
yeah.
gay way.
Yeah.
He's also selling like a fantasy for his body. I mean, when he's streaming on poolside for 7 hours,
Yeah.
like, okay, he's a slave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
he makes like $300 an hour.
Yeah.
But that's, 7 hours is like, I mean, I guess that's like a normal job.
Yeah.
But to stream for 7 hours, is there something like uniquely degrading about it? I feel.
Yeah. It's not even that it's like dishonorable or undignified or anything, it's just like exhausting. I don't know how they do it.
It's dishonorable.
Well, yeah, sure.
And then that they have this fantasy that they're like alpha and in control, and like beholden to an audience of like brain dead people.
Yeah, who like routinely turn on them, or even worse, move on from them. There's like a great moment early on in the film where HS starts speaking to the cameraman, not the interviewer, because he has terminal streamer brain and he doesn't understand the format.
So we've seen the documentary, he doesn't know how it works.
Yeah. And he's like, throws in curiosity to these guys.
But he's like Googleable as hell.
Yeah, but they're too dumb to Google now because they don't respect anything that's outside of their orbit.
I feel like they must have, but just didn't like, it didn't land. It's like too old, like, it's too old for them. So they're just like, oh, it's a documentary, so a documentary about me.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they want to make a documentary about me? So excellent and strong.
Adam Curtis presents Looksmacks like the documentary. These guys, they're not like, charting new territories or building civilization from the ground up. They're monetizing themselves by behaving like women online.
They're not even
That's their
there.
job.
And all the people are gonna stream for 30 days straight, 24 hours a day. Like the forms evolve, documentaries are relevant.
Yeah.
We're onto like new frontiers.
Yeah.
And he kind of does get at this, but then he wraps it up into this like point about anti-Semitism. But just that the manosphere like has evolved and now it doesn't even refer to any kind of like lifestyleism. It's just like a catch-all term. Really. Contemporary online masculinity.
Yeah.
Which fair, I guess.
There's a point also where he brings out basically like, look, he's one way on camera, but a totally different person behind the scenes. And obviously these guys' claims of like having a stable pose are overblown for the sake of their brand. They're exaggerating, they're dramatized.
They're performing.
Yeah, much like their investment advice, which is fake because they're retarded and don't know how to invest their money, and they're basically just scammers who take a cut from their fans. Like they take a referral fee anytime they sign up for like a website or an app, or it's like direct merch sales or supplement sales or something.
That's true of like, yeah, the Tate's friend, I can't remember his name, it's like Kevin Waller? Justin Waller. Sneeko is just, he doesn't quite fit into that frame or the documentary, because he doesn't really do that. He's more of an artist than the other people. in the
He's just
documentary.
better and more
Yeah.
successful than the other ones.
Yeah, but not for no reason.
Yeah.
Not because he's like better at, like, well, he doesn't even do it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's, at some point he asks HS why not be a good person, why not uplift people, and he replies it's a good question and admits that he'd never get anywhere if he didn't pander to people's lowest impulses on the internet. Even their narrative that they're like deeply mistrustful of mainstream media is extremely self-flattering. Because they're happy, they're elated that somebody wants to profile them.
Of course. HS just sort of appears more.
Yeah.
He'll have anyone.
So he claims that this documentary shows how these guys built leverage parasocial connection with male fans as a marketing opportunity, and that it's also about helping hamster real.
We're moving in the right direction, boys. We're moving in the right direction. This thing was mangled when I got to it. It's looking a little bit better now. Still got that main dent. That's what we're working out here. Can't see it here.
Ironically, he doesn't seem particularly offended.
I feel like I gotta.
He seems miffed, but that's always his thing. When he did the,
See, it's right along the teeth there.
it was some like Klansman meeting or whatever, he's also not like performing outrage. He's always doing this like restrained thing. But
Yeah, you can see it right there, right on the teeth there.
is that people also have like a parasocial attachment to him
Right.
as like a figure.
Yeah, I mean, his whole,
Like he's also a person, like if he was younger, he'd be a streamer.
yeah, his whole, yeah.
Like what he's actually doing isn't that much like
Different, yeah, he's only slightly smarter than these guys. No, he's a lot smarter.
he's a lot smarter, but he's also like, you know, like he's not as much of a whore. I don't want to call him a whore. But it was interesting to me that there wasn't like much reflectiveness rather on his part.
All right. Okay, so that one's done. What's going on, everybody?
His role in
Let's adjust this like so,
Yeah, I mean,
like so.
yeah,
even the
like,
fact
reps
that
on his
they
morals because he has a right to.
All right. So what we're doing today is cleaning up an order cards we just got. I'm gonna show you guys what we're working with. This morning I picked up this
Of older, more dignified.
base set Charizard. Look at that gem right there.
So that's what
I don't know if you guys can see the crease, but it's pretty pronounced. This is gonna be a real pain to work out. It's a little bit louder from here. You can kind of see it a little bit better here. It's going on all over. You can see it much clearer here. So we threw that in the humidifier. We're gonna press this out right now, but first we gotta put that Gengar in that we just did.
He probably would.
Because it is so over when they start filming him. Yeah, he's so uncomfortable. I was kind of like, I just want there, and it's like split there, and it's like you don't like it. It's more like that.
Is he uncomfortable though? I thought that was also an ironic gesture, and he was actually totally fine with it and committed to the bit and was just doing it to play his part and make it seem like
Also
he
got
was,
this
yeah,
beauty
a
Pikachu.
control
I don't know if you guys can see that.
Right.
The fireworks on there.
If everything he does
Jeez.
feels like,
Alright,
yeah.
this one needs to be humidified.
And I do think he didn't have total control because he didn't direct it.
So we got that, then
Yeah.
we got these guys, we're gonna clean up.
Glossy Netflix production.
Yeah, it's like when like Curb or Always Sunny went like did HD or whatever.
These guys right here. Someone pulled a God pack, they need these 3 cleaned up before they submit the PSA. I got them. I'm gonna throw these in the humidity.
Like now that you can actually drive this thing, I think he is willingly, wittingly playing himself.
That's probably
Like that's yeah. But obviously, like some of the things that they say do hold water. He interviews these 2 guys who are like Justin Waller is like brain dead disciples, yeah.
That was
Like yo, food, like you're like an inspiration. Yo, I was homeless,
But that was
but
in
I
the
stopped
past.
smoking weed. God.
The guy's brother, Quincy.
Alright. So we're gonna take this bad boy and we're gonna throw it right into the clamps.
It's slow-mo with his like gotcha. Yeah. They look like Dominican or Coptic or something.
That's important.
Yeah. They're not Cuban, let me tell you. Well, you can sort of question the whatever authenticity and transparency of these guys as public figures. Like the picture that emerges is that they are kind of like dopey, insecure, nice guys who aren't totally evil, toxic demons.
Gay and seems most people to be.
Yeah, they're kind of like
Alright, that's what that's gonna look like.
at best misguided and at
Now I'm gonna
worst
clamp it up.
sinners.
Get the clamps.
I was surprised to learn that Meyer Gates is a former DHS official. Yeah, apparently.
Is that a
Oh,
dog?
I think so. Or officer, he's a former DHS officer.
What does that mean?
He worked at the airport? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like he's clearly like low key. He's not like corner office. Louis says, with their male-centered take on family life, Kristen and Justin embodied a radical dream founded on a Darwinian view of alpha supremacy. Like even dialogue like that seems kind of intentionally ironic, because it's like a string of like weird online buzzwords.
Why do you think intentional?
Because I don't think he's that dumb to take seriously. Because when you actually look at what these people are, it's like they like reverse engineered just like a normal, traditional, single income household. Where like
Right,
the
but
big
they
man
have to take
provides
desperate
and the wife like cooks and cleans and raises the children. And that's literally what they have, but they've made it into something
Well, just
cool
Waller.
and resistance thing.
Well, he also
Against like the scourge of feminism.
except Sneaker because he's like younger.
Yeah.
But all these other guys seem kind of like flunked out. Yeah. I don't know, like, why? Because if you're Justin Waller
Yeah.
and you're like a steel magnate,
Yeah. This is a liar.
right? Yeah, he's like, did you buy this place? He's like, I'm renting.
Yeah.
Cost me $20,000 a month.
Yeah, and there's like, you know, you see him walking around, he's like, you know, he's wearing sharp killer suits and expensive glitzy watches, and it's like actually he's wearing like a medium suit supply suit or skinny jeans and hiding his like hippie hourglass frame. There's like some point where he's like, you know, if you could draw me into any city without a dollar to my name, and I would be laying steel and pipe in 2 weeks. Or when he's like, oh, you know, if I was around during the gold rush, I would be living the dream of manifest destiny and da da da. Yeah, it's like, dude, you're a content creator on social media. Using other people's platforms.
Like, surely anyone could be successful doing something else. What?
Yeah, they're like us, they failed them. Due to lack of options.
Spain is nice.
Yeah, it looks like Miami. It's funny that,
That guy's British.
yeah, that's his Miami, yeah. They like these subtropical climes where it's like always hot.
Clamped up, shoddy. Clamped up, shoddy. Ready to go. That's one done.
And you're like always horny or working out, and then you have to make like a conscious decision to go to like an air conditioned cafe and open your laptop and style workout.
To edit your clips.
There was a dude in the
Okay,
hotel
perfect.
cafe.
Now, what are we gonna do? Oh, now I'm gonna show you what I got going on here.
He was a jack as fuck and had like a rose of thorns tattooed on his neck. And I was like kind of spying on him, eavesdropping on his conversations. He's like working on a laptop, making a slideshow.
Not sure if you guys can see what's in here.
Uh,
Who's that Pokemon?
grass, the leader's
It's
not-
Giratina. So we're gonna pop this open, see how we did. Do you have to put the gloves on for this one? Make a little video content. Outside of this video content, of course, guys, how we doing? How we doing? What are you guys up to tonight?
These guys
We'll keep it there.
downplay how like
Here.
conventional and monogamous they are for the sake of their brand, but women do this all the time.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
So, we're in for a long night. We're gonna try to stream most of it. Take a little break between cards. I'm gonna do the Giratina now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take it out of its clamps. We're gonna put it into the drawing station. Okay? Now the main damage of this is the corner. Okay, so we're gonna pay attention to the corner. Hopefully we got it. This is the second press. Normally it takes 4. Let's see if we see progress.
Country.
She's like, I do my just TikTok. You can sell this. So did this other, this Brad. And I honestly wish the dog could have interrogated this further. Streamers doing pedo hunting.
Oh yeah.
Crazy. Would they like entrap some guy and beat him on the
Yeah.
street?
And then pretend that they're not down for that. Don't actually do that.
That's like way more disturbing than like any of the like shock jock bullet cues of the things that, and then this is like not just like sanctioned, but people watch it.
Okay, bear with me. I need this tripod. So
Yeah, I always think he's downstream. What's that guy's name? Chris Hayes. His men. No, Chris Hayes. No, I don't know. Chris Hansen. Chris Hansen.
Have a seat.
Yeah.
And how entertaining that show was.
all right. Let's get her out of here. All right, here's hoping that we got that dent out. Guys. You still see it a little bit. Okay, so you still see it a little bit it's there. Now we're gonna throw her in the old drying station. Okay, and now we have. Shooting this in 4K is crazy. Okay, back to our regular scheduled program.
That's what you did, kind of like.
Put you guys back on here.
Social media, like kangaroo reports and public tribunals, it's like literally that model, but like optimized.
And I feel like you don't even get in trouble for it, because it's this kind of like vigilantism
Yeah.
that no one wants to like say isn't okay, because they don't want to stand up for pedophiles.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, there's that bit of controversy where like, that, oh, that's Lewis, he's not a pedo, he's a filmmaker.
Yeah, if people see that guy on the street, they assume beat the shit out of a pedophile. So if they see him as a spectacle man.
I guess like.
Cleaning up that base set Charizard next. Gonna work that crease out. First, we gotta get the clamps eventually ready because it's going to the clamps right after we're done. As well as got the heat on it. Sorry, humidity.
But it's for like an audience of people who don't watch streamers, who are like smarmy, smug, libtards. It's like it's a Jon Stewart Daily Show model.
It's condescending. And I guess that's what I'm getting at when you say that, like, Louis Theroux's kind of like a proto streamer. Like, on a moral level, he's not. Not
Now this one's done. We can't do anything with this. See up here, we're gonna rip the foil off this and keep it.
Watching your voice.
This one we got a little bit of a curve in it, so it's time to work.
That was funny because.
Let me take the gloves off for this. Gloves are coming off. Gloves are coming off.
Really saying Jews, they were maybe vague, generic way about, Sneeko was talking about Satanists, and then, yeah, Louis Theroux did that thing. Bootstrap, yeah, he's like, oh, you mean the Jews?
That sounded pretty anti-Semitic. Yes.
No robots for new things.
Though obviously it's also anti-Semitic. Obviously.
All right, next.
They're not anti-Semitic.
They're anti-whatever, Jews, whatever.
Yeah, they're definitely politically anti-Israel, which most young people are these days, and they're definitely
We're gonna go every level on this one.
tendency for the Jews, but not like in any like J.M. Cudahy, like enlightened.
Which means we're gonna need our entire mug of
And
tricks.
they're all best friends. Well, yeah.
Yeah, they might not be like sophisticated anti-Semites, but they're probably, whatever, however you want to define it, they like probably check some boxes.
Yeah. But you're right that it's revealing how morally compromised these streamers and their followers are. He also reveals unintentionally that he's also kind of morally compromised. Which I don't think he would even dispute or deny if you brought that to his attention.
Sure.
Vigilantes in the symbol. I feel kind of like a snob saying this, but I'm just really, honestly, to the core, freaked out by like vigilantism and bloodlust. I don't like it. It's like when people rubberneck at the scene of like a car crash. I'm just like, ugh.
And there's something really human in it that's what's disturbing.
Yeah.
That's why I associate like To Catch a Predator, because I'm like, I know how that feels.
Yeah,
To be like
it's-
justified and like relishing in someone's like harm and humiliation.
Yeah, and it's like your point about AIs. It's not that they don't mimic human consciousness, but that they don't mimic the subconscious. Like you recognize, yeah, that it's not so much that you're alarmed or repulsed by it because it's foreign to you and you're better than that. It's because you can recognize that you have it too.
Exactly. But it's an alarming trend.
Well, yeah, to normalize it, to promote it.
It all
Just
just,
Me Too's legacy.
it's true. funny to, and like, yeah, HS TikTok, he doesn't take like a hard line. He like basically admits that he just does like click farming by talking to Jews.
Yeah.
But to be like a peddler of pornography and a Jewish industry.
Yeah, you know, well, it's different because I don't endorse it or condone it, but I'm profitable off of it. But it's like, what?
No, he's definitely, there's like just something missing, like, or he, well, several times we asks him like why he did something, and he just says like clout. It's like dead eye, like, you can't even explain
Cloud,
to him.
profit, something, some like Kobe excuse.
It's not even Kobe, because I don't think you could even explain to him why, like, it's not virtuous to do things for clout, like, he just thinks, like,
Yeah.
it's very straightforward. It's
Well,
not
he's-
dishonest, it's like, he just, like, of course you get clout, so you get views, so you make money.
He's probably gonna convert to Islam shortly too. Like renounce his past ways. Oh yeah, but like I guess one of the things that annoys me about all the mainstream media coverage of the manosphere is that there is all this talk that Thoreau does briefly touch on about how like young men are being increasingly radicalized into adopting like racist, sexist, homophobic, anti-Semitic views. But it's true that nobody talks about the fact that young women are undergoing their own radicalization, but moving left versus right. Yeah, yeah. That they've done studies.
I mean, I don't believe that. I guess both just feel like they're like facets of the truth and not.
Both of these facets are like refracting off of each other and magnifying each other in a way that like, of course, like strips it of nuance and complexity and all this stuff. But
Well, that's what happened in Korea.
what happened in Korea?
Well, that's their whole like gender
Oh yeah.
wars.
I mean, young women have become more militant about like supporting abortion, immigration. They're suffering and they're in pain, but their answer to that has been to like blame men and the patriarchy more, and blame like the symptom versus like the disease. I know that sounds gay, but that's
No,
what they're doing.
but that's true. But that's true of the manosphere, guys, too, even to like evaluate that.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's true. Like they're both like equally wrong in this, but the difference is that the mainstream media condones, encourages the female version of this narrative, but consistently like fear mongers and hand wrings about the male version.
But I think what the doc does accomplish is sort of how the mainstream media is not relevant.
Yeah,
Like it has just as much of an influence
yeah,
on people as alternative, like live streams, alternative media, whatever. It doesn't matter, yeah, I guess, what the mainstream media professes or claims to,
yeah.
because people are going to be like siloed into whatever sector of influence they're primed to respond to anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, but all I'm saying is that the manosphere is like condemned by the mainstream media, but the womanosphere, which is the main, is the dominant, is celebrated. Yeah, and I was thinking about this with regard to that article we discussed on the last episode about women who regret having kids. And at the time I said, well, nobody would ever publish a story about women who are actually like excited to have kids. But that's stupid because most women are excited to have kids and it wouldn't land.
Well,
And then, with that said, I realized like no mainstream outlet would ever publish a story about women who regret getting an abortion. Like that doesn't,
that's
yeah.
definitely wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Like that would be the flip side. And then there's always that talking point that conservative pundits like to wheel out, which is probably like undeniably true if you look at like the data and the stats that women consistently vote for pro-immigration policies, which are actually end up being bad for them because they are more under threat from like foreign rapists.
So true. But I feel like there is like my algorithm is very pro-natalist, I guess.
Yeah, because you're out there like researching like
there's probably many, many situations.
Yeah.
The real kind of like corollary to the Bannister has been trad wifery.
Yeah.
TikTok,
Yeah, the female resistance.
like ballerina farm.
Yeah, yeah.
She's got like, she doesn't have a bunch of husbands, just a kids.
Yeah, I mean, there was that article that recently came
She's
out,
fucking like powder and stuff.
The Cut or something, or New York Magazine, that was written by that lefty guy, Sam Adler Bell, about the women who are leaving the right, which was really opportunistic, propagandistic, like a smear, because of course it like fails to reckon with or like address the so-called right-wing ideas that are like compelling, attractive, appealing, whatever, to a wide swath of different people by smearing the men of the right as like oppressive and abusive.
That's
It's
because-
like women are fleeing the right because somebody was mean to them and called them fat or said they had a barren womb or
But that's
whatever.
because the right upholds traditional gender norms in which
Yeah.
men are powerful, so of course they would be like a powerful contingent in the so-called right.
Yeah, no, I know, but if you're like a woman who considers herself right-wing, then a few right-wing anons being extremely cruel to you on the internet shouldn't make you renounce the ideas themselves. I'm talking about like big economic and cultural ideas, right? Not like,
But people, when you say they're right-wing, aren't like, I don't think they're that principled. I think they're just like
sure, yeah.
taking like, taking on an identity.
Oh.
for social reasons. So then when
Yeah.
they're like
Yeah, yeah.
not treated well, of course they're gonna like recoil because their whole incentive wouldn't
To be in that,
part of any kind of movement, right?
to get
It's
attention.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and whatever, to be
And
like,
once they realize that they're like not welcome in like traditionally male spaces, then they have to like
I don't like
denounce them
myself.
to get more attention. And there was like a really sneaky part of that article where one of the anonymous, like okay, he interviews like Alex Kashuda and Catherine Dean, who are basically liberals LARPing as right wing for clout and access. No offense to them, but that's what they are. And then there's this one anonymous woman who is anonymized as Anna, how convenient, and is like on the record as saying that she was attracted to the right because she likes transgression and trolling. And I guess multiple people in Austin told me that it was this woman who was actually a mutual of mine called Helen Roy, who was like a trad wife, mother of two, and mostly posted like gender and birthing content as far as I remember. But I don't particularly remember her as like a transgressive or trolling individual. She was kind of like unironic, wholesome chungus.
I don't know what that is.
She was this pretty redhead that was like a personality on the right for a while.
Okay, no longer.
Yeah, I guess she defected or whatever. But like, it's weird to associate her with aesthetic transgression or edgelordism.
Well, that's, it's convenient, I guess. that
Yeah, it
she's
was deliberate.
anonymized.
Yeah, as Anna, of all people. I know they couldn't have gone for Dasha because it's too particular and specific in name, and Anna's more like generic.
I know,
And all
like, so
purpose,
that beautiful country singer.
Yeah.
I didn't read that article either. I got the
just
I got the
some
gist.
like excerpts. Yeah.
Should we talk about Cesar Chavez?
Yes. Speaking of the legacy of Me Too.
So I didn't really know who Cesar Chavez was, to be honest. But I've learned that he's a rapist.
He's a Mexican rapist.
He was saying the N-word on Tumblr when he was 15. Yeah, he was a labor organizer
Yeah,
in California.
and he's a Mexican American labor leader and civil rights activist who merged socialism with Catholicism, and he's now, being accused of horrific sex crimes in this posthumous Me Too that just dropped. It is the subject of the New York Times investigation. He allegedly repeatedly sexually molested two adolescent girls, both daughters of fellow organizers on a regular basis between 1972 and 1977. Now there's this woman, Dolores Huerta, who's also a legendary labor activist in her own right, and she co-founded the United Clip Farm Workers Union with him. She's coming forward and telling her story of rape and abuse and impregnations at his hands.
She's like 95 years
She's
old.
90, yeah, she's about to be 96, and she's sort of being promoted, rebranded as like the real hero of this movement and this story. So she waited like 5 decades, 3 of which he was already dead for, to drop this bombshell, which by the way was like an open secret in their circles.
Well, he was like he had a cult of personality, from
Yeah.
what I understand.
She obviously can't really fear of retribution because again, he's no longer around, hasn't been for a while now. And her
She said that she
excuse-
didn't come forward initially because she didn't want to compromise.
Yeah.
Well, they're also, whatever, it wasn't like, it wasn't in the culture then.
Yeah, and she's saying, yeah, she didn't want to compromise the movement at the time. Now she doesn't want to tarnish its reputation, its achievements. So it's confirmed that she had 2 children with him, in addition to the 8 that he had with his wife, and at least 4 he had out of wedlock.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to replace that one soon.
Which was her, and she
Hell
had
yeah.
3
Who's trying to buy?
three
Who's
different
trying to buy
men.
some fake cards, bro?
Season's brother,
This is mint,
Richard.
near mint,
Oh yeah, she was married to.
near mint,
Yeah.
because it's translucent.
Yeah,
It's more
it was her
expensive.
3rd marriage.
I gotta find something to do with these foils, bro. This looks kind of hard though, no?
She later reconnected with
That looks
them.
pretty sick.
These people are doing a lot of fucking and stuff.
Yeah.
I am restoring
Leftists
these
were so much
cards.
cooler back then.
They were hypersexual, yeah, but they're also,
Yeah,
so they have become American, super fertile.
yeah, they're like Catholic and trad for real. So I was like, why now?
I gotta
thought
hit that
Me
bad boy
Too's
with
over.
one more
Like,
stretch.
I've been dead for 33 years. Me Too's been dead for at least 5 years. And this guy is not the most obvious candidate for Me Too because he's brown and he's a leftist and he's an organizer. He's seemingly on the right side of history.
Well, he's also like a kind of like a saint, like,
Yeah, he has
or
like
like MLK.
He's
got, like,
buildings
Boulevard.
named after him, yeah. And if you dig deep enough, obviously, much like MLK, every civil rights leader has skeletons in their closet. And, you know, all of this has been like independently verified and corroborated. But, well, it turns out, after some digging of my own,
So,
that
the
Susan
crease is
Chavez
definitely
was
still
really,
there.
really
It's still
against
pretty
the
pronounced.
Constitution, hated it.
But
One thing
we have
he
yet to hit this bad boy
illegal
with,
immigration.
you guys see that?
And he was
Honestly, it looks
really
better.
promoting
I know it looks the same.
policing and,
I think it's better.
establishing patrol corridors along the Arizona border to keep out illegals who are being brought in as scabs to break farm worker strikes. And in that way, he was able to like elevate a lot of Mexican Americans to the middle class. So he like improved their wages, he improved their living conditions, he got them health care. He catapulted them into like a new class essentially. And Huerta, on the other hand, really hates Trump. She's a known Democrat, and she loves illegal immigration.
Well, she's probably like senile, right? She's so old.
I don't even think
I'm sure she's sprightly,
Sure,
but,
yeah.
you know, I bet she was anti-immigration then too.
But people
Okay, that's garbage.
Evolve as they get older and more like isolated.
Yeah, I don't know. I read her Wikipedia briefly, and like, yeah, she's like on the record as being like pro-immigration.
I mean, I'm sure she is, but I bet she wasn't then.
I know, we should fact check this.
I mean, that used to be like a,
Well, it was the normative
that was like a
stance.
leftist, yeah.
I mean, until very recently, Bernie Sanders.
Bernie was against an open border.
Yeah.
He was you know, when leftism was more connected to like workers' movements, obviously.
People understood the basic economics
They did.
of illegal immigration.
Yeah.
And they understood that it wasn't like a racial or cultural thing.
But now that leftism has become this like kind of abstracted culture sexual orientation, basically, for like white collar people. Obviously, they don't care about that.
Yeah. So more than 30 years after his death, Mr. Chavez has become only more revered in the Latino community as President Trump's efforts to limit immigration and scale back rights threaten to destroy many of the gains secured by decades of his work. Oh, please.
But that's okay.
The questions raised by the Times about Mr. Chavez, one of the most consequential figures in Mexican American history, immediately prompted organizations with ties to him to try to distance themselves. None of us knew Governor Gavin Newsom of California said on Wednesday. Bullshit. Noting that he planned to discuss with legislators whether to rename Cesar Chavez Day on March 31st. They should rename it Dolores Square today. Probably will. How about that?
What's going on, Nicholas?
They might. People like, oh, manosphere is a problem. Yeah, basically.
Okay, we're gonna clamp this bad boy down.
Had sex
Then we're gonna get a jump on the other ones.
with an underage girl. Oh, he fondled one and then also had sex with another one. Rape. I mean, he definitely raped him. He definitely groomed them. Yeah. He did since they were. He was like a whole leader, figure.
All right.
Would've
What am I
gone
doing?
with
I am fixing up this Charizard base set 1995 with the shadow. Just finished cleaning it. Now we're gonna clamp it for the first run. It's gonna take a couple on this one, I think. Four is a good rule. See, I think you can kind of see it from here. There he is. Rawr.
She chose not to report the assault to the police because of their hostility toward the movement. She feared that no one would intervene or believe her. She also described an earlier encounter in August 1960 when she said she felt pressure to have sex with him in a hotel room during a work trip in San Juan Capistrano in Southern California. She described being stunned by Mr. Chavez's aggression and then numb to it. She has framed her silence at the time.
Yeah, well, don't say wow yet. We still gotta see if it works.
As a woman fighting for respect in the male-dominated world of 1960s union organization.
Oof, gotta really cramp the crap out of this one though.
I mean, that sounds plot true.
Okay.
But why now? Why in the year 2026? Why not like 2016? Why not?
Hey, what's going on, Nate? Nate, you're actually at the perfect time. We just clamped up our first Charizard here. Boom, that one's good to go. And that means that it's on to the next batch. And Nate, guess what's in the next batch?
He did in part because that was back when we were guys Bernie Sanders, who were like leftist icons, heroes of
Dun, dun, dun,
the
dun.
saying that.
Alright, so Nate is in the chat. Nate is the owner of these four bad boys. Mwahaha.
It's a pro-war.
Let's take a look at it through the microscope.
And that was still around back
Mm-mm-mm.
then. Well, Nagel pointed out and got canceled. Cesar Chavez. I don't think anybody cares about Cesar
Right.
Chavez, but
Like what the Times article says.
Can you see that? No, you can't. Let's go like this.
I swear that doesn't seem true. I don't think people are like.
Yeah, that's good. Wow, look at the dent on that plastic sleeve, dude.
So it's not even his name. It's
All right, so Nate is the owner of this proud Dark Magneton. So we're gonna just hit this with the spot clean. All of these really for Nate, but we're gonna start with the Dark Magneton because I know that there's an issue here. Boom.
Anti-immigration is a dead issue. And I think it's like to normalize this new reality that actually no inroads are going to be made on this issue. And I think it dovetails with a lot of people's like feelings of betrayal over Trump's war.
Let's look at that under the microscope.
I'm
See how
sure
Nate's
that
edges
this
are doing. Look at that little
investigation was
Magneton.
months in the making. But there is.
So let's go
like,
right to the
this
pro. See a little problem area there
underlying
too.
subtle- I'm not saying it's,
Start.
like, even like some kind of conspiracy or anything, but there is like a subtle play to like
Cool.
replace this toxic man with like a compassionate woman as part of some kind of greater cultural.
Is that a
laundering
dent or a spot?
that-
Let's see.
that has, like,
Let's see if it
very
comes
small
out.
weight,
Yeah,
has
it's a
symbolic
spot.
value.
Sweet. Gonna get that one out.
That makes sense.
One of his former teen victims wrote a now deleted Facebook post, "Wake up people, this man, you, spelled you, not Y-O-U, marched for every year, molested me." Like, I'm sorry that happened to you, but that's also such terminal woman brain. Like, you know, it's not about you. well, she deleted it, yeah. Your personal sexual ordeal at the hands of this bad man is like really not as important as like
Gotta go
what
from the
he
other
did for
side here.
countless others.
Latino rights.
Yeah. And this is a 66-year-old woman, by the way. And also, by the way, like if this guy was some random Mexican and not Cesar Chavez, she would have moved on.
Pretty
a long time
dirty.
ago.
Pretty dirty.
Well, they wouldn't be, they don't have parades for random
Yeah.
Mexicans.
They should though.
They have a Puerto Rico parade, but we don't have a Mexico parade.
But that's like why Me Too was so evil, because it was never really about
Not bad,
social
Nate.
justice
Not
for
bad at
individual
all.
women. It was about
Oh.
like bypassing the established.
Get a little there. I do the whole card. I don't just do the area you told me about just because, you know.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, they were
I got it.
uncovering
Might as well
the
do it.
truth and prioritizing truths, and that is bypassed now in favor of like feminine tactics of warfare, which are like playing the victim, character assassination, emotional appeals, mixing the personal and the political, and it's not so much that they're downplaying the truth, but that they're distorting the truth, because it is true. It is true, by the way. I believe the claims against Cesar Chavez.
Seems like they did their research.
Yeah, and like
It sounds highly plausible.
yeah, it is true that he hurt and harmed a lot of women in his personal life.
I find the gory details to also be a little like, I guess downstream of Epstein. Like the
Yeah.
article really went into a lot of.
How much you would
detail,
charge?
joke of that.
Yeah.
It was written in this very salacious way.
Well, typically it's
Yeah,
$50,
it's like morality
but
Yeah.
that's like all it
kind
is.
of trying to figure out a pricing schedule here that makes sense for everybody.
It
I think
true
$50 is
there
fair. I think if you give me 4 or more cards, this is a new thing that I'm workshopping. So if it's a bad idea, hop on it before I change my mind. 4 cards, $40 each.
Stains are also long.
Less than 4 cards, $50 each.
So, I guess that really
That's my new
comes
pricing.
from
Oh,
that.
and I accept partial payment
I could
in
have, like, some
raw
decades of
cards,
privacy
but
and not have
those cards have to be
Yeah,
near
but
mint.
Me Too ultimately was about like subverting truth.
What slabs are you guys
That's
picking
what
up?
it
Was anybody in the market for anything good?
in favor of like
Any Crown Zenith
in
hunters
this
over
case,
here?
the Democrat agenda. And
Hmm.
you know what can I say? They
We're working
succeeded. They won.
Nate's
Like, actually,
26-year-old
too
card
far
here. This card is old
outweighs
enough to
its,
have
like,
remembered.
specific,
What year is this?
like local impact.
95? Damn, this is like the second set, right? I'll show you guys my trade binder when I get a second. But I'm not trading anything out of there for like a year because I got some long holds in there.
Yes.
Gotta feel the market's gonna crash too. Andre Gomley, UK. I assume you're in the UK, mate. Bottle of water.
Hugo shop.
Bottle of
Yes, I
water.
was.
When I was-
Bottle of
I was
water.
like, okay.
Bottle of water.
I was like,
Bottle of
what?
water.
And then I was like, oh, Caesar Chavez.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
But I think that's part of the reason why they're like exhuming him and dragging his corpse out
Is the
before
immigration stuff.
the public opinion. Yeah, but also because nobody realistically really remembers who he was. And like
After I clean up Nate's card, I'm gonna go off live for a little bit.
Yeah,
because they're busy.
Hey, because I need to recharge my microscope. I don't know if you guys can see, but this battery's almost empty.
That's the number
And
6 now. Doing it
second of
today.
all, because I want to go have a smoke.
And that's the other funny thing about Me Too is that obviously.
But Nate,
like,
pretty
people
good
who are,
card, all
most
things
under
considered.
threat
Not a lot of
were,
damage.
like men who picked
Like I said, super confident with this
feminists,
one.
who were, like,
Gonna pop this bad boy in the
feminists.
press
It wasn't, like,
right after I get my Shinjis out of there.
right-wingers.
I mean, Cesar Chavez didn't seem like he was really a feminist ally.
No, he wasn't, but he was part of the leftist stack or whatever.
Yeah.
He was actually not a feminist. I think he like openly made comments against feminism because he believed in like the traditional home and family.
Yes,
he's
okay,
a Mexican Catholic.
Um,
Yo, you and me both, bro. Let's go get all those dragons. Let's go half on a dragon set. I think they're going for like 18 right now. They were going for 12 6 months ago. It's crazy.
Does it make any attempt to put this deplorable
Yeah, see, we got a little bit of
context that
whitening
make it
or
less
silvering on the
surprising?
edges there because of the age of this card.
Aren't reason the article include the 1970s
But other than
California
that,
Wars,
Nate, I think our
sexual
front is
privileges.
clean.
Neither the word cult nor synanon, which is like the cult he belonged appears in the article, or radicalism. Nor is there any mention of traditional Mexican notions of machismo, the double standard, and the age of
Yeah.
consent.
Yeah, not
It's
bad,
true,
dude.
it's
Not
like
bad
they
edging
talk
here.
about, like David Bowie or
Okay,
Mick
now we do the
Jagger
back.
having sex with teenagers. It's like
Now we do the
it was wrong, but
back.
people did that
Okay.
back then.
Yeah.
And I don't doubt that it was
Refill?
wasn't true.
This is the front of Nate's Magneton. I don't know if you guys can see. How can I get in contact with you? Luke, are you based in the GTA area? The Grand Theft Auto, the Greater Toronto area?
How do you think women have like 12, 13?
You can.
kids?
I'll send
That's
you.
huge. I mean, I bet they're
You could hit me up on Instagram. It's the same
You
as
gotta
this,
start 'em young.
or it's in my bio. It's actually not that dirty. There's a little bit of dirt,
That's really
Nate,
what I love
but not
about
bad.
feminism at the end of the day, is
It's
like,
Gary Grindset at
race,
gmail.com.
ethnic identity,
So you wanna hit me up on Instagram? I'll get you an email, or we'll get in touch via email,
exotic flavors, but like fails to actually.
and then we'll go from there. Guys, I'm gonna take a little break after I finish this side of the card.
A lot of these cultures, like
I don't like going farther than an hour. But Luke, if you're based in the GTA, it's super easy. I've had people reach out from the States, and doable. Don't get me wrong. Someone's actually sending me a card from Florida, a CGC Snorlax and a 9 that they need repaired. But that being said,
They're vibrant culture.
Yeah. Well, it's like
it's a lot easier if you're in the GTA because I can meet up with you. We can have a drink. That's what me and Nate did. So, you know, it's not just about card restoration, guys. It's all about the friends you meet along the way. That's what I always say. Nate, the back is looking pretty good. I'm just spot cleaning things I think are stains, but they're not.
Rama Duwaju saying the N-word.
Free her. My girl did nothing wrong.
But really,
God.
nice card here.
The New York Times story
Oh.
ends with one of the teenage victims going back to his office and
Based in
seeing
Ohio.
that rape.
Hey, well, I'd tell you what, it'll be a little cheaper because I'm in
Such, like,
Canada.
softcore
But
erotic.
just when we send the cards back and forth to each other, we got to make sure to not declare their true value because otherwise we get hit by tariffs. Because I don't know if you've heard,
But I guess that's why.
but America has this thing called tariffs for the last year, and you know, not great for the economy. But whatever, not my circus, not my monkeys.
Like,
I'm Canadian.
You were 2 years old when he died.
So things have really changed.
Oh. Oh, see, Nate, I thought it was going to be a waste going over this side because it was completely spotless, but we found that little speck of dirt that made it all worthwhile. Ohio. Aren't you guys playing basketball right now? Or March Madness? Ohio's always got a team in a sports finals.
Yeah, well, I mean, to acknowledge the context would be to confess the hypocrisy of their project.
It could have been a little more, like, it didn't even really get into anything. I had to go on Wikipedia
Yeah.
to even really, like, understand what we had accomplished.
Yeah.
Because the article was all just about how he was a rapist.
Yeah. Well, that's understandable because it's literally an article about how he's a rapist. But I guess
know,
they should have had
but
some footnotes
just
about,
give, like, you know, paint the picture a little better. Don't just tell me about some
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one.
Just, like, get
There's
into
another one. Made it all worthwhile. There we go.
what else was going
All
on.
right,
I mean, it was
guys.
pretty
Set the scene.
honestly, pretty progressive of him.
We're going to
to
go
be
on a little break.
trad
Little smoke break. I'll probably
Catholic,
pop back on in an
Mexican,
hour or so.
working class guy who was into alternative medicine and like doing yoga.
Was he
Nate,
in
thank you for logging in, making sure I'm doing my job.
Synanon,
I just mean like he came from like
a Catholic
That crease will pop right out. Don't worry.
Sure.
All right, guys.
And also, like, I hate to
Let's take
say
another
this,
look.
people
Oops.
are gonna get mad, but it's very clear that at least what was her name, Dolores Huerta,
Which one? That's the
the woman who was
his like
And then we hit it with the old spick and span.
co-organizer. It's very clear that they must have had a consensual.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'll be back on in an hour. We'll be cleaning more cards. All Nate's. Nate's next up on the schedule. Then, you know, I think we're just going to make it through Nate's tonight. I don't think we're going to go past that. I got a couple in the heater, in the press that I might take out. Let me go ahead and turn this off.
I mean, that's kind of
What am I doing? Hugo, buddy, you just missed it. I just cleaned this card up for my buddy Nate.
feel like they.
Now we're just giving her the old polish. We're gonna leave it,
Like, do they
dry it,
not
press
do
it.
that?
Yeah, he definitely did, yeah, they have 2 kids.
No, I know, but like, I think it was definitely more than 5.
What are you
But
doing?
yeah, yeah, duh.
You know,
Yeah, they were
Guys, I'm about to
definitely-
log off. If you want me to stay on,
definitely just
obviously,
trying to be
you
fair.
pay me money, I'll stay on for a little bit.
Settle for the brother,
I'll work out
she settled for the brother before
downstairs.
he-
Otherwise, I'm gonna have
That's
smoke.
fair. Imagine being the brother
Smoking a
and
pancake.
You're cocked by your own brother.
Nice, nice,
why wouldn't they?
nice. Let me go show you some if you guys are still on. Just hang on.
Why wouldn't
Yeah,
you
totally.
obsess with Cesar Chavez? He's like famously like charismatic.
And also, like, even like on a more mundane level, just like your coworker, you saw him every day.
And if you married,
You were like
you know,
close. Like,
yeah,
people be fucking at the office all the time.
like if she married his brother, it's not like he wasn't hurt.
Voila,
You know?
voila. That's the other one.
Actually, his brother was really tall and had blonde hair and blue eyes. He was one of those white Mexicans.
Boom.
But yeah, typically.
That's a slab.
Traumatized.
All right, well,
by the transgression
it's been an hour. That's a pretty good stream.
made with
I'm
someone with their
out of here.
clothes.
I'll see you guys in probably another hour. What time is it?
Yeah, these are
6:42. Probably back around like 8.
not
Back around 8.
they're rapists.
All right. Bye.
Have a little bit more freedom than some